John, the world of work is changing. The world of work has always been changing, and we find ourselves right now as leaders with perhaps one of the most challenging jobs that we've ever had when leading organizations. And you work with an abundance of leaders in a variety of different arenas. What I'm intrigued to be able to understand from you today, particularly in this virtual hybrid, what the heck are we doing in order to be able to create a workplace culture? How do you be approachable as a leader? How do you be human as a leader, but also professional and hold people to standards and hold like levels of accountability? How does that intersection play out?
I think actually the more human, the more relatable you are, the easier it is to hold people accountable and have them achieve what you want them to achieve. You know, if the more connections that you can create between you and another person beyond the work connection, almost look at it as strings, I guess. So if I know more about you as a human, because I hired a human being, not just a technical skills worker person. So if I know these other dimensions about you and more about you, then I have more strings connecting us. And so if that work string gets a little tense, well, there's other connection points that we have. And you also understand that I value you as a human. So many people in the working world, in the surveys now, are, I want to feel valued. I want to feel valued for the work I do, but I also just want to be valued as a human being. And so many organizations and leaders pass that, and they just go straight to the worker part of you, which is such a small percentage.
Isn't there a risk to this though, as a leader? Like if I'm a leader of people and then I find out about your passions and your hobbies and your interests, and then I find out that your sports team lost, and I find out that like you're having some difficulties and challenges in an important personal relationship, and then I start to carry the emotion and the baggage of you in your real life. Maybe I'm not going to lead you in the same way because like I'm concerned I might offend you, or I'm concerned like you're dealing with a lot right now.
Well, you'll actually be a better leader and a better manager because you'll meet people where they're at. You'll understand what drives them, what motivates them, what things they're going through at certain times. And but also you'll understand what expertise they have that's above and beyond their degrees and certifications, and things that'll make them thrive and feel alive at work and feel activated as a human, as opposed to just someone that comes in, clocks in, and does their work. We don't get paid to socialize, the research that I've done, or, we don't get paid to talk to each other, or, yeah, you do. That's how business happens. It's human to human transactions. And the more that you can understand the people that are around you, I mean, these are more waking hours than your friends and family. So, have it actually caring about the people that work for you, and also you being open and sharing as well, makes you a little bit vulnerable, but also you come down off that pedestal.
That's scary, John. Like that's scary. Is to be like, because if you're a boss, you're a leader, you're an employer, that you're supposed to have it all figured out. You're supposed to know what you're doing.
You don't. You're supposed to. You think you're supposed to, but you're really not supposed to, and you don't. I mean, I remember when I started at PwC out of Notre Dame, and I thought first day I was like, oh, all the partners, they must know everything. They're just like gods, right? See, you're laughing right now, and how funny that is. Yes. And I was like, they're gods. I mean, they must know everything. They're the smartest people I've ever been around. This is going to be amazing. And about 6 months in, I was like, man, I was way off. And they drop a lot more F-bombs than I thought. That's for sure.
Right.
And, and so it's just, they're humans. And so if you're able to have that connection with someone, and also it allows the younger people to maybe be the alpha in the relationship. Like on some of the interviews I've done, someone said that they had just gotten a smoker and they had no clue of what to do, but one of their staff had grown up in a restaurant. So now that person's the alpha, where they get to teach the partner how to do something. And it creates a stronger, better relationship. And it also is something when it comes to attracting and retaining talent. Like, people aren't going to leave a leader that they want to follow, that they want to be with, that they know cares about them.
What should you share then that is going to help people find these points of connection? How do you know where to draw those lines? How do you know when you're oversharing, you're entering into the friend zone as opposed to the boss zone, or that you're, even as an employee, that you're you're getting too close in a relationship inside
Right.
the workplace.
Yeah, and that can certainly happen if it gets out of hand. And I feel like as long as it's something that you're really, really passionate about, I refer to them as ands. So if you're an accountant and a ballroom dancer, or an attorney and a college football fan, like whatever that hobby or passion is, that's probably a first level. That's an easy, safe way to share just a little bit of another dimension of who you are.
Okay.
And
you ever found somebody's and to be something they shouldn't have shared?
well, the only way that you shouldn't share it is if it's going to inhibit your ability or someone else's ability to do their work.
Right.
Then that's unprofessional, and that's okay. Don't share.
Okay.
But up until then, I mean, it's fair game, and it's funny because sometimes people will object with, well, what if it's something super controversial, or what if it's protesting this, or what if it's, and I'm like, well, I'm sure you got something else. First of all, don't lead with that.
Right.
And second of all, that's never happened. I mean, in all the years I've been doing this, that's never been an issue. And then I find out that the person that's pushing back is someone that doesn't have an and, or a hobby or passion or an interest outside of work.
Right.
And so their bubble just got shattered because they thought no one else had something either. And then they find out, oh, wait a minute, everyone here has things and I don't. So
Okay.
now I need to shut that down because now I feel silly, rather than looking inwards and saying, well, maybe I should just go get something.
Okay, let's play with this for a second here as well. Is what is like a handful of the ands that you found out about people through the years that have been insightful or interesting to you? What might be 4, 5, 6 of them?
I mean, there's so many. There's a baseball player. There's, like I said, ballroom dancing. There was hula hooping, like just doing a hula hoop as an adult. Like, all right, cool. There's stained glass maker. There's, somebody that started a volunteer charity organization.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of things.
And what if I, as the employer or leader or manager in that environment, like I find out that like you love ballroom dancing, and that scares the crap out of me. Like I'm like I've just found out that you care about this thing. I've asked you about this thing. You've told me about this thing. And like, I don't want to talk about that thing anymore because it's overwhelming. It brings an anxiety in me. I don't want to encourage you to do more of it. I don't know how to bring it into the workplace. I don't want our next away day for us to all be that we're going to dance together.
Right.
What happens if I bump into that?
Yeah, well, that I would say then as a leader, you need to probably work on getting over that, because there was actually a study done at Johns Hopkins University last year, and they found that 40 seconds of genuine interaction on a daily basis leads to less anxiety, greater sense of belonging. And I think in this day and age of loneliness, and especially even the hybrid work and the remote work, and loneliness is a huge epidemic. So if you could just take 40 seconds as a leader to have a genuine interaction, and that is just, hey, I remember you loved a ballroom dance and you were doing a show this past weekend. How did it go? Can I see some pictures? You have 1 or 2 follow-up questions, 40 seconds. That's it. And if the leader is like, I don't know if I have that kind of time, then maybe leadership isn't for you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So it doesn't have to be like that we are making the Christmas party that we are all going to be ballroom dancing.
It doesn't have to be that extreme. Now, it does mean that instead of just giving out a random Starbucks gift card as a little bump thank you or whatever, maybe it's a gift card to the pet store because someone's crazy about their cats, or it's a gift card to something, and then it just shows the person, oh, wow, you know me and you care about me as John, not me as senior analyst or whatever my job title is.
Wow. And even, I guess, looking at every movie you watch through a different lens, every TV show that you watch through a different lens. And if we're sticking with the ballroom dancer guy, is if you found yourself on a plane watching Dirty Dancing, you could then reference to the ballroom dancing guy is like, I watched Dirty Dancing and I know it's not strictly ballroom, but it did make me think of you.
Yeah. And then the person's like, oh, wow, that's cool. I feel valued. I feel like I'm at a place that cares about me. And that's a big thing, is just valuing the worker as much as you value the work. We value the work so much. And in a lot of places, they put even an hourly rate on the work. But do you care that Susie's the one doing the work? Because Susie loves ballroom dancing and she loves to be in front of an audience. She should be the one that does the presentation to the client or whatever.
Where have you seen examples of people who in senior leadership have actually amplified their success as senior leaders by being vulnerable enough to share what they do outside of the workplace?
I can think of actually there's an accounting firm in North Carolina that I've done some consulting with, and their CEO managing partner shared that when he grew up in the Pittsburgh area, and when he was younger in college, he was security for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 1970s when they were the Steel Curtain and all this. And he shared the story in front of the whole firm of just the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers that everybody knows, Art Rooney, came to the lunch cafeteria and he was doing the door, and Art Rooney didn't have his ID on him. And so he didn't recognize it was Art Rooney, wouldn't let him in. And then Art Rooney leaves, gets his ID, comes back, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't realize." So he just showed like this vulnerable side of himself of like, I don't know everything. I don't have it all figured out. I haven't been. And that's a story that I'll never forget about him. And it's fun to bring up to him during the football season. Like, hey, I saw the Steelers won today or whatever, those sort of things, because that's something that lights him up. Mm-hmm. Like what is it that on a soul level, there's the job title, but behind that's a human, and inside that human's a soul, and what lights you up? And more journal entries or more, making sales calls. That's not necessarily what lights you up on a soul level.
So what do you do with this practically? If we're going to bring our conversation today to a close and try and make it really tactical and applicable and people know exactly what to do now is you got a team of 6, 10, 12, 15 people and you're leading that team. What instant action can I take today, this week, or at least this month that is going to start to bring this mindset of bringing more visibility and awareness to your and to light? Like, how do I do it in a way that feels on purpose and accelerates this cultural change?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just having some genuine curiosity about the people that are around you, and then being open to sharing a little bit of your hobby or passion or interest outside of work, beyond family, and have that ask the people around you. It's amazing how a simple question, hey, I heard this guy on Phil's podcast and he talked about what's your and, he's got this book about it. And so what's your and you just ask, and then people say, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And then they talk about it. I had no idea. Mm-hmm. And then you have one or two follow-up questions, and then you remember what they said, and then you ask them about it periodically.
So use the fact that you listened to this conversation about the fact that John Garrett said you should have an and you should do more about your ands. Think about what your 2, 3, 4 ands are. Raise the question of like, I have no idea what your ands are. I didn't even know what my ands were until...
Fair. Yeah.
Like I started to explore it and I realized that, yes, I'm a professional speaker and I run a business and blah, 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 blah. But what are my ands? So what are my ands right now? Let me try and think about this and do this on the spot. Well, and I have an insane passion for interior design, and I love being able to explore old houses and see how that they have, through history, evolved the way that they think about what an interior should look like and what great design looks like. Oh, and I love Land Rover Defenders.
Yes, you do.
And if you're not sure what I like to drink, is I have an affinity for bourbon.
I was going to say, don't even leave that off.
Right.
Absolutely. And if people could see your eyes light up, your smile is like, I mean, you're alive. Mm-hmm. And that energy and that passion in the workplace, now go do great things, type of energy.
And I can do that. And I have Darby here, who is one of my team, who is behind camera right now, who cannot be seen but can be heard, is having me share that. Like, what are 1, 2, 3 of the ands that you have in your life that I don't know about that could be cool if me and John were to know about them today?
I do clowning. I do swing dancing, and I know how to juggle.
Nice. I have not met too many clowns. That's okay. Amazing.
So
I love it.
We're going to keep recording right now, and we're going to see if this is true.
That's awesome.
You'll love it. Yeah.
And John, you're going to be voiceover on this. I got gifted.
Oh, look at this
set of juggling balls that are brand new in the box, and they can't be used because I don't know anybody that can juggle.
Oh, no. Now I'm nervous.
But look at this. But Now,
like she can come in the frame in the shot.
and
right?
you did not know
I
this.
did not know this
There-
in any way, shape, or form. Right? They
Right.
did not know this at all. So, well, let's see if this is true. She said she can.
It's normally machetes and chainsaws, but there we go. See?
That's better
I
than
like
me.
it. It was also her third hand. So
Right.
that's, that's
Right.
totally fair. No, I think that's awesome, but she enjoys it. And also that proves a point that you don't have to be world record breaking
Right.
juggler. It's something that I enjoy because so
I
many
was
people
given
are
these
worried
by a
about
world
it.
record juggler,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the heck do I do with them? And now I know.
Now they're Darbies.
Right.
You're welcome. There you go. And that's the thing. So many people are fear the label. Like, well, I'm not a runner because I didn't win the Boston Marathon. No, you put shoes on and you run. Like you don't have to. And so if you fear the label, then instead use the phrase, I enjoy running. If anyone judges you or asks you your time, well, they're jerks.
Right.
So like, forget about it. It's just, I enjoy juggling. Am I good at it? Maybe, maybe not. Who cares? I enjoy it. It's not for you. It's for me. It's what lights me up.
John, thanks for reminding us that we are all more than what our job title is. Thanks for reminding us that everybody has more dimensions than any of us already know.
Yeah,
And I think wherever you think you know somebody, there's always one more end.
absolutely. And I mean, we got the two of you, and I love college football and going to concerts and ice cream. Ice cream's definitely an and. So thank you so much, Phil, for having me be a part of this.
This was awesome. Thank you, John.